Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here today once again with the Empire. We're going to be taking on the Dawi, and I decided to bring a nice fun build today. We've got a Hellblaster volley gun here, ready to open up shots on the miners there in the distance. For the rest of the build, we've got two handgunners hidden here in the woods with Balthazar Gelt. Over on the flanks, three units of Empire Knights, Witch Hunter on each flank, and a line of 5 units of Swordsmen. We've got a Steam Tank, of course, and a unit of Pistoliers out in the opposite corner. For my opponent's Dwarfs, he's got some Miners up front. We've got, let's see here, Rangers, Bugman's Rangers, in fact, some Slayers in the back protecting some artillery. We've got a Grudge Thrower and a Bolt Thrower. Grumbling Guard here, some Longbeards, and a single Iron Drake with 2 Gyrocopters. Those are the steam guns. And yeah, right off the bat, the Hellblaster volley gun gets a volley in here. Does some okay damage to those miners, nothing crazy. But we're going to start to shoot the Iron Drakes if we can as well. They are a pretty high value target, so you can see the Gyrocopters getting some fire as well as they try and get in there. Some of these overshots are going to hit those Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Pretty good effect as well. And just these other units in this area generally are going to get hit by the overshots. So good to shoot at the unit in the middle of the dwarf formation if you can. Gyrocopters swinging out to this flank to do a bit of scouting, so I'm going to bring my Empire Knights out of the woods here. The Witch Hunter's going to pop a few shots on those gyros, start to use up some of his ammo. These brave miners out here on the flank all by themselves against this steam tank here are going to learn the hard way. By the way, Dwarf player here taking the Karak Kadrin color scheme, which is by far and away my favorite. I absolutely love the red and gold on the Dwarves. I think it looks very regal. Fits in with the Empire color scheme as well. But this time they're going toe-to-toe. And the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass with the Lord here pushing up the hill. You can see the Coroller fire here, the Ranger fire that is, has caused some mishaps here. The Hellblaster volley gun still continuing to shoot, but the crew now getting routed off here. The handgunners, though, going to open up from the woods here, start to get some fire. The hill will obstruct some of these shots here, but they should be able to get at least a few volleys into the flanks here, up and over that slope. The bullets do have some ability to do that. We also throw a Plague of Rust here from Balthazar Overcast on these Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Unfortunately, they do have stand your ground ups. They're up to 80 melee defense. Unfortunately, those swordsmen won't be able to take advantage of that sundered armor, but the Steam Tank, meanwhile, going to rear charge over here. See if we can't drop a terror route on these miners. We're also using the accusations where we can. The Knights have come out to the flank here, taking some losses. Not really actually any losses, probably just HP damage at this point from those Iron Drakes there. But yeah, these miners with blasting charge is going to take a charge here. They don't take a ton of damage, but the Longbeards unfortunately aren't quite able to get there in time to save the Iron Drakes from taking the brunt of that charge, which does do quite a bit of damage there. You can see the Witch Hunter actually just picked off one of those Gyrocopters, which is great. This unit of miners took a nasty charge from those Empire Knights, probably going to get routed off. Balthazar is going to drop the first of his Overcast Final Transmutations as his hill position is starting to get compromised a little bit here. We've got gyros coming over. The crew for the Hellblaster is going to come try and get back on station, but some routing state troops in the vicinity hopefully will be able to rally with Balthazar, yelling at them to come back. But nonetheless, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass coming over, bombs being dropped on these handgunners here, so I'm going to pull them back. We're going to use this Hellblaster as more of a distraction piece now. If it can get any volleys off, that's great. If not, it should just act as a little stoppage for some of these dwarf units here. I don't think they actually automatically go back on fire at will when you remount the guns, which is unfortunate. They probably could have got a shot or two there, but oh well. You can see the handgunners just finished off those gyros there, and now we're going to continue to pull them back. This one unit, though, has taken quite a bit of losses. They're not too happy about their leadership, but that's fine. The Pistoliers, I haven't even been following. These guys have had a pretty epic saga. They came in, got a sneaky attack on the Bolt Thrower, routed it off momentarily, but got chased off by Slayers. Now they're just dropping their pistol shots on said Slayers and on the Grudge Thrower crew as well, which they have taken down to only one piece still operational. So very cost-effective use of those Pistoliers there. Haven't really been highlighting them too much, but highlighting these guys instead. The Empire Knights coming in for a massive rear charge here. All these Dwarfs blobbed up. We've also got the Steam Tank firing danger close here as well. Actually, that may have been some friendly fire from the Grudge Thrower, come to think of it. But anyway, you can see I'm just trying to stop up all these units from getting to the handgunners and resecure them if I can. This one's come back from route, so we're going to get him back into position. The Steam Tank, of course, also causes terror, which is going to terrify away some of these lower tier dwarf units. Even the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, not necessarily immune to psychology, so they will get terrified away by the Steam Tank there. You can see the ruins, these flaming ruins of these Gyrocopters here. And yeah, the Dwarf Lord's starting to take some heat at this point. He's taking a lot of crossfire from the handguns. He's been run over by the steam tank a little bit, and we're just continuing to kind of cycle the Empire Knights in and out as well as I can, using what remains of the state troops here to kind of stop up the Longbeards, the miners, and so on. The Iron Drakes did come back from route, and I'm not too happy about that. I don't want them roasting my Witch Hunters or my state troops, so I'm going to run this steam tank back here and see if we can't get on top of them. Speaking of Witch Hunters, this one's only got 17 kills. He's mostly been working on the gyrocopters so far. Meanwhile, the other one's up to 91 kills. Has been just side-shotting through these various units here. Bugman's Ranger is still relatively healthy, though. 56 units still, 32 kills there. And, of course, they will be regenerating, so they're going to be a tough nut to crack potentially in the late game, but as it stands right now, most of my infantry's gone. If we take an overarching look, you can see the Dwarfs have definitely gained the infantry advantage. I'm just, you know, trying to take advantage of my ranged units mostly at this point, using the Empire Knights as well as I can to take advantage of their charge bonus as well. Balthazar just kind of hanging back at this point. But yeah, the steam tank is going to act as kind of the anchor, the distraction piece, if you will. We're going to drop a big old Overcast Final Transmutation here as well. There's no Rune Lord to give extra magic resistance, and even with the baseline magic resistance, this should be enough to finish off this Dwarf Lord here and do a ton of damage to these Longbeards as well. You can see that Lord takes a few ticks of damage there, and that is going to be it for him. So, yeah, at that point, the balance power is going to tip pretty heavily in my favor. The terror from the steam tank is going to start to be an even bigger issue for the Dawi now that they lost their leadership. Their lord, their general, as it were. So yeah, the handguns continuing to just sit back and fire at this point. The fact that I've had units just continuously, you know, basically right on top of these Hellblasters here, just messing with the dwarves, distracting them, you know, not allowing them to advance on the guns themselves. The steam tank awkwardly squeezing in between the remains of the Hellblaster there. But yeah, it's meant that I'm able to just pour in fire continuously, and these handgunners have used up a lot of their ammunition, and they still have quite a few unit models as well. They started out both with a single XP chevron. They both picked up a second one over the course of the battle, so it's a very nice use of those handgunners there. I don't actually bring handgunners all that often, but this is one matchup where they can very much shine. They can pretty much outrun most dwarf infantry besides like rangers or slayers, and they obviously can protect themselves against gyros just fine with their armor-piercing missiles. So yeah, I definitely recommend. The biggest danger for them obviously is counter-skirmish from something like Corlers or Rangers or something like that, but at this point it's just the two Slayers that had been protecting the artillery. Could have obviously been used in the frontline engagement probably a little bit sooner, but they were protecting against the Pistoliers as much as they could, which, you know, I understand. That's kind of why I brought the Pistoliers, is to keep my opponent honest. If he chose to advance and if he had artillery, he was going to have to keep a unit or two to protect or risk losing them to the Pistoliers, and it ended up working out. You know, they definitely were very cost-effective here. You can see them still trolling around out on the flank, about 20 models left. They themselves have picked up an XP chevron as well from taking out those artillery pieces, so yeah, in terms of, you know, bringing a bow to a gunfight, this Dawi army didn't actually bring any gunpowder units, I don't think. You know, it was a bolt thrower, a grudge thrower, which are both mechanical type artillery, and, you know, only the Bugman's Rangers, no Thunderers, so yeah. It just goes to show this is a matchup where you definitely want gunpowder on both sides. I definitely think the Dawi could have benefited from swapping. I mean, obviously the cannon is more expensive, but if you were to swap out like the bolt thrower, maybe change some other things around, you could have potentially brought a cannon instead. It has longer range, it's a little bit more accurate, does a little bit more damage, and honestly, I mean, bolt throwers can be pretty decent. I'm not, you know, don't get me wrong, they're a decent low-tier option, but I mean, unless you have some specific reason that you shouldn't bring a cannon, or that you're trying to maybe bring more elite infantry or something, which in this particular matchup, I mean, Dwarf Warriors will pretty much beat everything except Great Swords anyway, so you're probably good on that aspect. You just try and bring a bunch of Dwarf Warriors, Miners, and Guns, I would think, but anyway, we're going to watch these Slayers make their final stand against what remains of the Empire army here. We've got a few state troops, Pistoliers, and, you know, the steam tank, of course. There's such a good unit in this matchup, and because the bolt thrower initially was focused on the Hellblaster volley gun, and then focused on the Empire Knights, plus a lot of the time, you know, the steam tank was kind of over in this area next to this rock, where it was mostly out of the line of sight of those bolt throwers anyway. You know, it ended up being that my opponent just didn't necessarily have the tools to deal with it at the right time. And of course the Witch Hunters as well, just able to run around. Again, they're a little bit faster than most of the Dwarf Infantry, so they can stay out in front relatively easily. So yeah, that's going to be it. Well played, my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. It was a nice, nice traditional, sort of traditional empire. Not super traditional, but, you know, we've got the handgunners, we've got the state troops, knights, a little bit of artillery, magic, and everything against the dwarves here. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the Iron Drakes are an okay pick. I might honestly cut them. They can roast out state troops pretty effectively, but again, you're not really at that much of a danger from state troops anyway. I'd probably drop them, and that would afford you the cost to be able to maybe upgrade even both of these to cannons, I want to say. I'd have to look at the specific cost, but just in general, you know, maybe a couple Longbeards is pretty good. The Longbeards with Grey Opens especially, the Grumbling Guard with that Vigor Refresh are pretty nice. I might cut them out for more ranged units, though, just like more Thunderers, even more Rangers would honestly be pretty solid. There's some various different sorts of things you could do, but hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.